this is Diane from Teach Pre-K. I had super big plans this weekend of all the videos I wanted to make and all the work I wanted to get done. And I got sick and I am not able to do anything I want. I finally feel a little bit better today. My voice is hanging in there. Um, so I just thought I would do a quick video about something super important that you may not really like, but it is important for our kids and for their development, and that is show and tell. Now, the kids get so excited about show and tell, they can't stand it. And I used to have a 3 to 4 year old class of 16 kids and a 4 to 5 year old class of 18 kids. And me, being newish teacher, decided we would have show and tell all on the same day. Oh my gosh, that was the worst thing ever. And I didn't learn from that mistake for several years. It just was too much for me to handle. But first, before I tell you how I remedied that, I want to tell you why show and tell is so important. We have in both our 3 and 4 year old standards and our 4 to 5 year old standards a speaking and listening standard for early childhood. And this is pretty much across the board in every state. I haven't found a state where that is not a requirement. And the requirement for speaking and listening is that each year the children can sit and listen to somebody else speak for an increased length of time. And they can also get up and speak, and they can answer questions when asked, and they can wait their turn to answer a question, and they can wait their turn to speak. It's all kind of a part of learning that self-regulation that we all have to learn as humans, because there's billions of us on this earth and we all need to take turns. So that is why I do show and tell, because it does fit a standard. I had a principal who hated show and tell, hated it, wanted to call it show and teach instead of show and tell. But then I showed her the standard and she was like, okay, it's a standard. You got it. So I, like I said, I started having everybody have show and tell the same day. And that was horrible because the kids can't sit and listen for that long. They can listen a little while. At the beginning of the year, it's maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes before they're rolling around and touching their friends and doing all of that. But what I have done over the years and how show and tell has evolved is I do show and tell once a month. And it is for a week. If that week has 4 days in it, which my threes come for 4 days, and my pre-K fours, they come for 5 days, but I still do it just 4 days because we have library on that fourth day. For those pre-K kids, I just divide the amount of kids by 4, and it doesn't always work out evenly. And some days I have 3 kids, some days I have 4 kids, or 4 or 5, depending on the size of the class. I send a reminder every morning to the parents that their child has show and tell. And if you think that's too much work, you can schedule emails in Google. I don't use Google to email my parents. We have a school-wide email system, and I can't schedule. I just remember. Once in a while I forget, and I give them the heads up. I give them the list at the beginning of the week, and I say I will try to remind you, but sometimes I forget. I might wake up late, or I might have an emergency with my mother in the morning. She's got Alzheimer's, and sometimes she needs my help. So there are things that happen, but I send them a reminder. I also have a set of rules. They cannot bring anything living. If they've got like a chicken farm or they have chickens and they really want to bring a chicken in, they can set up a separate time to do that. Like during my farm unit might be great, or during spring if they have new chicks that have just hatched or something like that. I don't want little brothers and sisters. I don't want pets. of any sort. I also don't want beautiful Lego creations because they will break. So I just give a set of, let's not even call them rules, let's call them guidelines. It has to fit in their cubby. If it's a book, they have to clearly mark 3 to 4 pages of their favorite pictures or their favorite parts of the book. I will not read the book because I said I would read the book once and I got 5 books the same day. And not only were we doing 18 show and tells, but I was expected to read 5 books. And that wasn't humanly possible in the amount of time that I had. But we live and learn. So I only have, like I said, maximum 5 kids show their show and tell. They cannot bring a purse with 25 things in it. I've had that too. It's like you are limited to 2 things. And if they bring 3 things, I just say, no, you can only have 2. This one's going to have to wait. I have to, because it just goes on too long and the kids will lose interest. Sure, I could drag it on over 2 weeks. Great. We could have show and tell every single day and, just have 1 or 2 children have a day. That's fine. I just like to get it over within a week because it is not my favorite thing. It eats up a lot of my teaching time. And, like it or not, even though we've streamlined the process, sometimes it eats into our center time and gets in the way of some other things we want to do. And inevitably, there's going to be a fire drill scheduled when I have show and tell, because I don't always know until the day of the fire drills. So for that reason, I like to get it done in a week. I like to give those 3 to 5 kids their time in the spotlight. And also that way, if they forget, they can bring theirs the next day. I like to send little reminders. We sit in a circle for show and tell, and I have letters that are in little circles around the perimeter of my rug that we sit on for show and tell. We always go over our rules for show and tell. We sit with our hands in our lap. If you are someone showing their show and tell, you put it behind your back. Then your hands go in your lap so you're not playing with your show and tell. If you are having an issue where your hands have to be on your show and tell, I'll give you a warning and a reminder. I'll let you know. But after that, I'll hold your show and tell for you. Once you're done with your show and tell, it goes right into your cubby and the teachers get it in their backpacks so that it is not a distraction for the rest of the day. Like I said, they're super excited. They cannot wait for their turn. A lot of times I will use this as a time where I might make somebody who has been struggling with a little self-regulation, I might make them wait to be the second person. I wouldn't make them wait to be the last person, but I would use it as a teaching moment. Like, remember, you're going to get your turn, but only if you can follow our rules. We talk about, can you touch someone's show and tell? Because I let our kids walk their show and tell around the circle. We kind of have to guide them with that. Otherwise, they bop around to other people. So I'll say, start with so-and-so, then we're going to move around the circle. So we talk about what kind of hands we use. We use soft hands. We use soft hands to touch people's things because we wouldn't want someone else to grab our things and be rough with our things. So we remember that we are going to teach our friends things with respect and care, just like we would like our things taken care of as well. So we'll go over our rules. Everybody's sitting quietly. I dismiss them one at a time to go get their show and tell. When everyone who has a show and tell day is back in the circle, that's when we do our show and tell time and our little walking around the circle, and you can touch if you want to. Sometimes people bring things that are super exciting and that light up or make noises, and I always make sure that I give the kids a chance to let their toy or their object do whatever it is that it does to make it more exciting and fun for the kids. But I really try to maintain a calm and I don't want to say control, but I'm dealing with little kids, so I do have to have some kind of control over my class during that time. Um, I love them to feel very free and to take the time that they want and they need, but I keep my eye on the clock and I'm well aware of how many show and tells we have to do on that day, and we get through them. Everything goes back in the cubbies. Teachers' aides make sure they get back in the backpacks, and we're ready to go. And I have just found over the years that this makes the most sense and works the best for me. If you want to try to do all of them in one day, you can. I advise against it. I think the poor kids that have to wait to the end, they don't get a lot of attention, and the kids are getting pretty squirrely at that point, so they just don't get out of it what they're hoping. If you keep it to just a few kids each day, everybody gets their turn in the spotlight and gets to share something that's special to them. And not only does it help reach your speaking and listening standard, but it also helps the kids get to know their classmates just a little bit better. There's always a child who, I have that same toy at home. I love that book too. And they kind of will make little bonds with the other kids, especially if there's been some kids that have been struggling with connecting. It can be a great time for the other kids to find a way to connect with them and for them to find another way to connect with the kids. So if you have someone in your administration that does not like show and tell, thinks it's a waste of time, just bring out your early childhood core standards from your state and show them that speaking and listening is definitely a critical part of early childhood education, and it is something that the kids need to learn. They need to learn to listen to others, and they need to learn how to express themselves with their vocabulary and feel comfortable talking in front of their peers as well. So that is that, and this will probably be my only video this week because, like I said, not feeling so hot, losing my voice, and I feel like the more I talk, the more of my voice I'm going to lose. But thanks, you guys, for watching and for all your support. Appreciate it.